respect is a two-way street, and it becomes especially important during adolescence. Shifting focus from how much respect you feel you are getting to whether or not you are showing them respect is critical. Leveraging respect for teens is key to helping them stay engaged in relationship and in collaboration. Hello and welcome to another episode on Teens Corner. I am Sharon Ajay as always, and today we'll be talking on teenagers and respect. And I have with me in the studio today, as always, Amina. Amina, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having
me.
me.
You look really great today.
Thank you so much. You too.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're going on a short break now, and by the time we return, we'll be talking on teenagers, respect, and adult respect and all of that. So stay tuned. Back to Teens Corner on Global TV. Like before I said, before we went on a break, we'll be we're talking on teenagers and respect, and adults and teenagers, respect, and all of that. Some adults, not only parents but teachers, coaches, advisors, and more, react by taking a top-down approach, laying down their words as law. Do it because I said so. Like quotes, do it because I said so, unquote. Others take the opposite tack and abdicate their authority, letting the teens do what they want. Some adults try micromanage, they try to micromanage teens, taking over where teens could be responsible for themselves, and others, especially those with a higher level of education, try to inform and persuade, didactically offering all of the reasons why a teen should or should not do something. Yeah, we're talking on culture, and from what I just said right now, some adults can be very persuasive. They can be so, they don't give reasons why teens should respect them. They just feel like because I am an adult, or because I raised you, or because you are a teen, you just have to respect me. It's more like kind of a persuasive kind of approach towards those teens. You have to do it because I said so. Okay, do this. No reason for you to do it. Because I said so, you have to do it. And all of that. And looking at from the African perspective, Nigeria to be particular, respect is on a high level when we come to Nigeria. Like I said, different cultures and their different approaches to how younger ones or teens are, supposed to respect them. And funny enough, I don't even know if it's a normal reoccurrence. Teens, when teens, they just like think alike, they act alike. Before you see a teen that would fully respect an adult, it's you have to do a lot of searching. It's just like all teens, they just like I said, they think alike. Growing up adolescent, the overwhelming emotions and all of that just makes you feel, as a teen, I'm like thinking as a teen now, just makes you feel, okay, I've arrived. I don't need anybody to persuade me to do something. I don't need people to tell me I have to do something without giving me a reason to. I'm now an adult, so I have the right to act as an adult and all of that. So respect is just off of their list, or rather, the way an adult feel that they should be respected is not the same way teen gives their respect.
Yeah, I think it's necessary, right?
It is, actually, it is. Okay, so I want to hear your own perspective, because from our own perspective, I'm saying our own because we are both Nigerians. From our own perspective, there is this different view of respect from where you grew up, because you told me earlier that you grew up in China, and I want to believe that their own perspective of respect or their own idea of respect, even as a teen, is totally different from us, like we Africans. So I want to hear from your own view and your perspective about how they view respect there, as because you had teens as friends back then, and you know how they relate with their parents and all of that. So I want you to give me your own view, or from what you've seen growing up, your experience from your environment, how teens give their respect, or how they view respect in that other side of the world.
The way I grew up is quite different. A lot of things are like being done differently. I actually find it's very interesting, like the way people take it, like how do I say, intensely serious. Like they take it very, very serious here. More like when the way I grew up, it's like more like adults wouldn't demand it from you. I wouldn't say like adults would demand it from you, because they find it embarrassing, like you're demanding something from a kid, and then you're actually expecting the kid to like return it back. They expect you to do it, but if you don't do so, they would just have a odd impression about you. So they wouldn't, like, even if you don't greet, they wouldn't point it out, like, why don't you greet me? Because greeting became not much of a big deal, because like forget about like your elders, even if it's just like greetings about paying mutual respect to like person around your age. A lot of people will see it now in the modern society as like being extra or unnecessary, because for example, in Nigeria now, like even strangers, when they see you, they'll be like, oh, good day, good morning, and any time of the day, right? I believe you know this a lot, and you obviously have like engaged in this kind of thing. But like in China, if you just randomly greet a stranger, just hopefully like because you saw them, they will be like, why? Like when you do something, or you see someone on the road and you just pass by, like, good morning, maybe someone just sitting down on the road, like having like a little stuff to do, then you're like, good morning, the person just be like, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, are you? I don't have any business. Why are you saying hi to me? So that's like a thing in China. And then even if like, for example, if you have a good upbringing, whenever you see adults or your relatives, you say hi, you ask them how they've been, and then it's nice, but like we don't have all that prostrating, kneeling down, putting your head on the floor, or like laying down flat, and all those how do I say, too much of a physical activity. So I find it really amazing that in Nigeria, because like it's more like of a cultural clash, because like I'm not of a person like, I'll kneel down and greet someone. I just like, good morning, how's your day, and then move on. But then here it's
you just have to do it. Like, not that you have to do it, but people,
a lot of people will demand it from you.
Yes.
So there was a time, right? One of my uncles, I'd say, was in the house. Like they were having like full of table of like people. They were having a discussion. So funny enough, I was just at the edge of the table, like I was solving math. I was just doing my work, right? So I found I really don't think it was a good time to interrupt, but I also thought like it would be better if I just greet the person. But at the same time, they were having a discussion. They were laughing and all that. So there are people that will want you to greet them immediately when you see them, and there are some people that wouldn't mind after they drop down the conversation and you continue to engage with them, right? So I was waiting for them to finish the conversation so that I would like say hi or something, like greet them in general. It was afternoon. It was like, good afternoon, how's your day, sir? Something like that, really casual. Then the person was like, you didn't greet me, after they finished the conversation. Like immediately, like, you didn't greet me. And I was like, okay, good afternoon. I mean, right, something like that, right? I'm like, no, I will not answer you. And I felt like, okay, sure. I mean, fine. I mean, I did my like, fine. So ever since then, whenever the person just comes to the house, like, he would just look at me, and I would just like intentionally avoid him for that matter, because I wouldn't want to greet someone and then do like, too late.
Right? All right. See, I've just been laughing everything you've been saying because I cannot relate. You know,
Right.
like, you know, growing up in Nigeria, that's why when people say in this generation we are woke, and I'm like, woke how? Because to me, I feel like the way I was brought up, it's more like it's even so more like a slavery kind of upbringing. Yeah. And you're still saying I'm woke. So how? If then, what's your own definition of not woke? Because I don't understand. Growing up, I usually would always wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is to greet my parents. My granny, before she died, blessed memory, she always tells me whenever I wake up, I just casually, because my mom is Yoruba, she casually just like greets. I casually just like greet them. But one day she called me, she said, Sharon, you don't have any respect.
Wow,
in Yoruba, actually. She said, you have no respect. That during our time, or rather when she was my age, she dared not stand up until her parent answers her greeting. I'm telling you, literal truth. That's what she told me.
Yeah, I think it also have to do with like the way how people see respect,
Okay.
like to them. Because like for example, now your grandma just said like, I don't dare stand up in front of like a group of elders and greet them like that. Have to prostrate and do all those things.
Yeah.
But then now you think about it, it's more like a mind slavery now because they experience that, so you must experience.
Do you understand? It's their upbringing. They are now like putting it on us also.
So it's like this default setting in them now. So like I did it, so you have to do it.
Exactly.
It doesn't have any reason. Just do it because I did it. But I don't find that very interesting.
It's
because
actually
like
not.
Time is moving. People's mind are changing. Everybody have their own opinion, but of course mutual respect for every single culture and all of that. But to me, because of the way I was brought up, I was in a boarding school well enough, so like staying at home and having people to tell me that more of like the place that I grew up, people don't demand you to respect them. They expect you to do it because you have respect for them. So if you don't, then there might be a problem. So people won't like point it out and tell you directly to face like, you don't have respect, you don't do that, you have to greet me and all of that. So I really find it amazing, like, oh, people actually demand it from you. I thought it's just like something that instilled in you that you greet them.
They demand it. Like, they don't care if you were brought up in the right way or not. They just feel like
you have to do it.
You have to do it. Now, for example, we have like the three major tribes, three major culture in Nigeria. If you come to Nigeria or you're a foreigner and you're teaching about Nigeria, there is no how you escape knowing that the three major cultures are Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. And the three major culture, one particular culture is they are very high on respect, and that's Yoruba people. They are so high, and that's where my mom comes from. So you could imagine how I was brought up and everything. Now, why am I heading to that direction? You see, an Hausa man might just greet you in a very casual way, though I don't really know their culture. I don't know if they need the bend or all of that. I just only know that Yoruba people, they mainly just kneel for their ladies and prostrate for their guys. As a Yoruba person, now I'm not referring to me, I'm just like talking generally, like as a Yoruba person, you would expect as an adult a teen that is Igbo or a teen that is Hausa to greet you the same way a Yoruba lady or a Yoruba teen would greet you. And it's just not right in my own direction, my own part, my perspective, it's not right. And you know, they tend to paint that thing that is not from their culture, paints the thing as disrespectful. Just like you said where you grew up, they don't demand respect, they don't demand that you greet them, you acknowledge them when you see them, just that if you want to do it, you do it. But in Nigeria, it's totally different. I feel like in Africa, it's totally different. It is something that you must do. You understand? You know, when my grandmother then was, when she spoke to me about me greeting my parents, she wasn't just referring to just me greeting only them rather. She made sure that she told me that if I don't have that mentality of greeting my parents in the morning, how would I extend it to those outside? According to her, I'm a Yoruba lady. whenever I greet somebody outside, they should be able to tell that I am Yoruba. Why should that be?
It became like something that you want people to know as a first impression.
And according to her, she said that I should forget all of those people that don't do that they don't have respect. That if I should do it, I would, it shows that I am from a good home. I am from a home full of respect. And I feel like, there's one thing about these Yoruba people, not that I'm trying to say anything bad about them. I'm part of them. I am them. So please.
Yeah.
They can greet you on their knees, and by the time you turn your back going, they will say something not so nice to you in their language. And I'm like, why showing the outward respect, whereas inward you are just so disrespectful? Yeah. When we're talking about respect, we're not talking about the outward, outward physical doings and all of that. It's more of something of the mind, you understand? Yeah. Something from within. I respect you, that's why I acknowledge you. I respect you, that's why I greet you whenever I see you. And it's not something that needs to be forced.
Yeah.
They say respect is reciprocal. Sometimes most adults do not respect teens, and they feel because you are 18, because you are younger, you must respect me. And you mustn't just respect me the way you want to respect me. You must respect me
the way
I want to be addressed. And it's just, to me, it's so ridiculous. And I believe that there are lots of adults listening to us right now that will say, woke generation, they know nothing about respect and all of that.
Yeah, because I think it's because the way they were brought up, so they think that it is necessary. Like I said before, it became like a default setting.
Yes.
So they want to let that have it in our mind that, okay, respect is important. But let's not forget that a lot of this respect, let's talk about greeting, all this respect that's like on the surface now.
Yeah.
It's more due to like a social status. Because let's think about it. If we're just among the same like colleague, if we're just friends, you wouldn't lie down flat on the floor or kneel down to greet another person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. You just say good morning, how's your day, like what's going on, like just something casual, right?
Yeah.
So let's now take it to a higher level, or they so claimed higher level as a social status. If you're seeing someone like an elderly person, your uncle or something, in some culture now you might have to like pay like a full package of actions and sort of words to like please this person. Lots of things you have to be said, a lot of things have to be done to please this person. But I think most important thing about respect is you have to have it in your mind. You have to feel like, okay, this is so like I have respect for this person. I wouldn't want to embarrass this person, so I want this person to feel comfortable with me, like have this, like just be comfortable. So I want this person to feel comfortable. And then when we talk about respect, as you said, respect is reciprocal. So when you respect someone, you obviously expect the other person to like respect you. So just to make each other comfortable, right? So the idea of like you have to do it, it just makes a person, when you tell someone, forcefully instill a mindset on someone, the person will do it in front of you, and later on when you're gone, it's a completely different thing. So that's the thing about this forceful, mentality that you instill upon anybody. Because like, let's not talk about only respect, other perspective too. If you demand someone to do something, the person will just do it for the moment and then live it the second you're gone. So I think you have to make the person to understand, first of all. It's not just like, okay, there's no reason for that, just follow, obey, and that's all. Because immediately after that's gone, after that session is gone, the person is gone back to the normal habitat.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll be going on a short break now, and by the time we return, we'll be talking on ways to earn respect from your teen, because truthfully we agree that teens can be a bit disrespectful, adolescent, emotional, and all of that.
Lots of people are ruthless.
Exactly. So we'll be talking to our adults from a teen's perspective, ways to earn respect from your teen. So stay tuned. Back to Teens Corner on Global TV. We're talking on teenagers and respect. And before we went on a break, we said we'll be talking on ways to earn respect from your teens. One of the ways you earn respect from your teens is to, show respect to fellow adults as yourself and children, so that you look like a good not look, obviously, so that you show that you're a good role model to your teens. Teens learn by observing others, so that they won't, so they won't understand how to give respect unless they see you doing it. Use a respectful tone when talking to others, so your teen learn how to speak with respect. Additionally, don't insult other people when you're alone with your teen, because it teaches them to devalue people. You have to be who you want your teen to be. If you want your teen to give you respect, you have to respect people. You have to respect people in and when your teen, when people are around and when they are not around, because when people are around you, just obviously everybody shows respect and all of that, but that is not even what your teen is looking at. Whenever the person is not around and you're with your teen alone together with your teen, what do you say about people? Do you devalue people? Do you say ruthless things about them? Do you insult them and all of that? So be who you want your teen to be. Be respectful to people. Show respect to people, not just adults like yourself, but also teenagers, so that your teen could emulate that, kind of behavior.
Also, manage your temper when you're around your teen. While it's normal to get angry and upset sometimes, obviously, it's important to express your anger in a healthy way. Don't just vent your anger on your kids just because there's a person to listen to you there right now, because your kids will eventually adopt that behavior and start reciprocating the same thing to other people. Just like you said, they learn from the impression their parents give, because it doesn't have, because they're like next to kin, they're closer than any other body would be, right? So step away for a few moments if it's good for you, it would benefit you, but they don't see the things benefiting
some
you.
even say when you are not at the age to behave that way. When you get to that age, then you can now act that way. It's just ridiculous.
They think like, okay, it's just a short term. If I read now, I don't have to read later, so it wouldn't like matter if I just do it right.
Exactly. Speak kindly yet firmly when disciplining your teen. When your teen makes mistake, wait until you feel calm before you discipline them. Then sit your teen down and discuss what happened. After you explain what they did wrong, discuss the consequences of your teen's action. Just like Amina said, you just have to, you have to know how to manage emotions before you can, I think, before you can even raise a teen. Because if you don't know how to manage your emotions, how would you manage the emotions, or how would you teach that teen how to manage his or her emotions? So you don't just flare up and just speak to your teen, because they have emotions too, regardless of the fact that they are still young, they are becoming adults and they are seeing all of this. You don't expect them to talk to you in a calm way when they are also not happy. If you feel so sad about something, or you feel so sad about what they've done, your reaction tells them how to react also when you do things that are not pleasant to them also. So please and please, just like we've said, we've repeated over and over again, you need to act the way you want your teen to act. It's your responsibility. When someone sees your teen and sees how good behaved that person is, they will definitely, back it down to you, because obviously no teen can take care of yourself. No teen can bring up his or herself. Nothing can bring up his or herself. It is how a parent, what a parent instill on that thing, what a parent, the upbringing, the words, the action, the discipline, and everything that makes up the character of that teen. There is no how. Yeah, so that's all for now. We have limited time, so we'll be rounding off now. So sorry. Hopefully that when we have more time, or on our next episode, we'll be able to, continue more of this topic. Like we said, teenagers and respect, and I hope you've been able to gain lots of insights on this topic. Thank you for joining us on today's episode, and thank you once again, Amina. I'm glad on your insight and idea on this topic, your perspective, your experience on living in China and all of that. Thank you so once again. I appreciate you. I hope you gained some new insight, just like I said, and remember, you are always welcome to tune in again and again anytime. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Sharon Ajay. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.